Think about it. Pretty much every gadget you rely on, your phone, your laptop, even your smartwatch, they all run on invisible waves flying through the air. I mean, this is the absolute backbone of our modern world. But here's the thing, that backbone is under a ton of strain, and most of us don't even realize it's happening.
Okay, let's start with something we've all been through. You're on a super important video call, or maybe you're just catching up with friends and then poof, the screen freezes. The audio gets all choppy. It's so frustrating, right? Well, it turns out that little moment of annoyance, it's actually the very tip of a huge, and I mean huge, iceberg.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about what this invisible disruption actually is. Then we'll see how it's playing out inside your own home. After that, we're going to scale up and see how this goes from just an annoyance to a real emergency and even a threat to our national infrastructure. And finally, we'll get into what we can actually do about it.
All right, so first things first. To really wrap our heads around this, we have to ask the most basic question. What exactly is this invisible problem we're talking about?
It's got a name, radio frequency interference, or RFI, and the idea is actually pretty simple. It's what happens when one wireless signal just messes with another one. Think of it like a massive, invisible traffic jam. This isn't just a tiny glitch. It can seriously slow your devices down, or in the worst cases, make them fail completely.
Now, let's bring this right into your living room, because this is where you probably feel RFI the most. It's where dozens of your own devices are constantly battling each other for a little slice of clean airspace.
So, you know your Wi-Fi router? It's probably broadcasting on two main frequencies. There's the old 2.4 gigahertz band. It's been the default for ages, but it is so crowded. Your microwave, your baby monitor, your Bluetooth headphones, they're all on there. Then you have the 5 gigahertz band. It's way faster and a lot less crowded. But, and it's a big but, its signal has a really tough time getting through walls. So see, there's no perfect choice. It's always a trade-off.
And the scale of this home network problem, it's just exploding. Right now, the average home in the US has more than 20 connected devices. Just let that sink in. 20 different radios all crammed into one house, all trying to talk at the same time. And every time you add a new smart speaker or smart light bulb, you're just adding more noise to that invisible traffic jam.
So far, we've been talking about things like frozen video calls. Annoying? For sure, but it's not exactly life or death. But this is where the story takes a really sharp turn, from a simple inconvenience to a potential crisis.
This table lays it out perfectly. Look at the Wi-Fi router. The very same interference that makes your movie buffer could be the exact thing that drops a Wi-Fi call you're trying to make to 911. Or that smart lock that's a little slow to open for you. That could be the same lock that completely fails to open for paramedics in an emergency. It's all about context.
And you know, what's really, really scary are what the experts call silent failures. These are the times when a safety device fails, but it gives you absolutely no warning. Your security camera feed could drop out at the one moment you need it most. Or a medical alert button for an elderly parent just fails to connect. The device looks fine, the little light might even be on, but the connection is gone. You have no idea you're unprotected until it's way too late.
Okay, so now we need to pull the camera way, way back. We're zooming out from our homes to, well, our entire society, because this invisible interference is a massive threat to something we all completely take for granted, GPS.
You know, most of us just think of GPS as the little map on our phones that keeps us from getting lost. But that's not even its most important job. The real magic of GPS is its incredibly precise timing signal. That signal is what's used to timestamp billions of financial transactions to keep our cell networks and even our power grid in sync. It's a hidden utility, and without it, our world literally grinds to a halt.
And you'd be shocked at how fragile this system is. There are two big threats. First, there's jamming. That's basically like someone screaming static really loud to drown out the faint GPS signal. Your device just stops working. But spoofing, spoofing is way more dangerous. That's when an attacker sends out a fake signal that tricks your device. It looks like everything is working perfectly, but it's feeding you totally wrong information. It's telling you you're somewhere you aren't.
So, what's really at stake here? Well, basically everything. We're talking about commercial airplanes navigating the skies, massive cargo ships finding their way into port, the entire financial system, our cell networks, the power grid. All of it depends on this incredibly weak, vulnerable signal coming from space. The consequences of that signal being disrupted are just staggering. Okay, that is a lot, and it does sound pretty serious, because it is. But the good news is, just being aware of this is the first huge step. So let's talk about what we can actually do about it, both at home and on a bigger scale. So right in your own house, there are simple things you can do to clean up your own personal airwaves. Do a quick audit, unplug any wireless gadgets you're not using. Try moving your Wi-Fi router to a more central spot in your house. And for things that need a fast, stable connection, like your streaming TV, make sure it's on that 5 GHz band. Oh, and here's a great pro tip. Put your critical devices, like security cameras, on a separate guest network. That way, your kid's video game download isn't going to fight with your security feed.
And then, looking at the bigger picture, we all have a part to play. If you notice a spot on your commute where your GPS or stealth signal always dies for no reason, that could be an illegal jammer. You can and really should report that to the FCC. We can also get behind policies that protect our airwaves and demand that companies build their devices to higher standards so they don't just spew radio noise everywhere.
And this, right here, really gets to the absolute heart of the matter. This isn't just some tech problem for engineers to figure out. The radio spectrum that carries everything, from your Wi-Fi to a 911 call, is a public resource. It's like clean air or clean water. And that means deciding how we protect it, well, that's a decision we all have a stake in.
Now, this entire explainer is based on a fantastic report called Invisible Interference. It's by RFI Detectives, which is a part of Virtualization Options, LLC. For any of you media professionals watching, I highly recommend you check it out. It's a deep dive into this hidden story that, as we've seen, affects every single one of us every single day.